Hey guys, it's David again from DealMachine, and today I want to tell you about 4 different types of property owners and how they appear in DealMachine. So we've got corporate owned, bank owned, private owner occupied, and then absentee owner. And so they're going to show up as different colors in the app, and I'll show you how I treat each one actually. So let's look at this green property right here. The green, this green, that green, this green, is going to be an absentee owner, as you can see. And that means that this owner lives somewhere else, maybe Miami, Florida. Or it'll tell you actually in the app if you look right here. And this person actually lives in a different property in the same city. And I typically would consider those a very strong lead, and I would definitely send marketing to them. Let's look at a different color. This dark blue color though, that's corporate owned, so that's really interesting. That means it's owned by an LLC or some type of business entity. And I usually used to send them postcards that said, hey, do you want to sell your property? But typically I've gotten a better response. They're an investor that was very intentional. They set up a business entity for their property. And so now I send them what I call a buyer postcard. So it says, hey, it's got a picture of their house. Do you want to buy more properties like this? If so, send me a message. And so I've actually gotten a better response on those properties that are corporate owned by sending them a buyer postcard. And just to give you some idea, about 1 out of every 4 properties that I add here in Indianapolis are that they are corporate owned. Let's see if we can find another color here. Okay, so here's a white color. As you can see, it's this white right there. And when it's selected, it turns that cool blue color. But this white means it's owner occupied, and that means the owner actually lives in the house. And so a lot of people will say, I'm not going to send any marketing to that person. They're not the stereotypical absentee owner landlord that we want to typically send marketing to. But some of my best deals have been from owner occupied homes, especially if they look like they need maintenance, they're the worst looking house on the block, or something's a little off. That can be an indicator that potentially the owner is aging and needs to sell, move their house, or can't keep up with the maintenance. And those have been the cases for 3 out of my 5 deals last year that I actually took down as rental properties. And had to do complete renovations, but it ended up being that somebody had passed away and was neglecting the house, or they actually ended up moving out to an assisted living center, and we were able to help them get rid of their house. And so there's one more owner type, bank owned. I don't have a good example of bank owned on this section of properties right now, but you'll recognize it when you see it because it'll look different. And my advice for bank owned properties is to stay away from sending marketing. Typically those properties will get caught up in a multi-year process where the bank is foreclosing and then they'll eventually auction it off. And banks don't typically respond to marketing to unload those properties. So those are the 4 types of owners that you'll see in DealMachine, and that's how I like to do my marketing.